Good day, students. Welcome to the examination-based conduct session presentation for Early Childhood Curriculum Teaching, subject code CE ECT12, Year 1, Semester 1. I am your tutor, Seralda Morin Garizes. My cell phone number is 081-496-4436. My email address is zmharais@yahoo.com. For contact hours, you can contact me during the week from Monday to Thursday from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock. During weekends, Saturday and Sunday from 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock. For the introduction, first of all, work through your study guide and textbook thoroughly and diligently. Do all the learning activities in the study guide and then ascertain correctness with the given answers at the end of the module. Go through all your assignment. Ensure that you study and understand the contents of the study guide. The objectives for this session is to understand the examination setup of the examination paper, what is being set up on the question paper, to understand the examination questions based on the specific learning outcomes of the units that you are having. So those are basically the objectives of this session. Unit 1, examine the features of an early childhood curriculum. 1.1, describe the concept, curriculum design and curriculum implementation. 1.2, describe features of an integrated curriculum as applied in early childhood setting. 1.3, explain the principle that should underpin the design and implementation of the curriculum. 1.4, evaluate the aims of Namibian early childhood education. 1.5, propose daily programs for infants, toddlers, 3 to 4 year olds, and pre-primary learners. 1.6, explain dimensions of an early childhood development and implementation. As Unit 1 continues, 1.6, examine issues of diversity in the curriculum design. Unit 1.8, explain how both the design and implementation of a curriculum are influencing the quality of education achieved. 1.9, clarify the importance of holistic curriculum for achieving quality early childhood development. Those are the topics that you need to study for Unit 1 for this upcoming semester. Unit 2, clarify the key features of effective childhood teachers and teaching. Define teaching-related concepts, for example, education, training, miseducation, primitive values, teaching, learning exit, and learning outcomes. Unit 2.2, discuss the features and roles of the effective early childhood teacher. 2.3, clarify the importance and features of the early childhood teacher as people builder and character developer. Unit 2.4, discuss features of permissive, authoritarian, and responsible democratic teacher. 2.5, compare features of learner-centered and teacher-centered education paradigms. Unit 2.6, describe how to praise, criticize, reward early childhood learners in your class. Unit 2.7, examine teaching principles underpinning effective early childhood teaching. Unit 2.8, clarify how to recognize and teach gifted young learners. Unit 3, these are the topics that you need to study for Unit 3. Examine important early childhood learning activities and possible resources involved. That is the topic for Unit 3. 3.1, describe importance of music, rhyme, and song teaching and learning method. 3.2, clarify the features and application of the storytelling method, including the following materials to use and some techniques of storytelling. 3.3, describe the talking tips which early childhood classroom communication must follow. Unit 3.4, identify typical learning activities in each of the following subject areas: language learning activities, preparatory mathematics, environmental studies, creative arts, physical development, learning activities, as well as religious and moral education. Unit 3.5, describe importance of what needs to be prepared in order to present effective early childhood lessons. 3.6, discuss the teaching learning features of universal 3 phases of an early childhood lesson. Formulating lesson outcomes in the 3 learning domains. Another set of criteria for outcomes, the universal 3 phases of an early childhood lesson. 3.7, identify common resources needed in early childhood learners from 3 to 5 years. Unit 3.8, examine the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning styles of early childhood learners and give examples of each learning style. That is Unit 3 that you need to know. Unit 4, the topic is analyze classroom management issues and handling of discipline. 4.1, outline constitutional rights of learners. 4.2, compare in table format what it means to discipline a child versus punishing the child. 4.3, list at least 10 early childhood school rules and identify the values behind these rules. Unit 4.4, propose practical tips for managing the early childhood classroom, including the importance and types of routine for toddlers, 3 to 4 year olds and 5 to 6 year olds. 4.5, propose guidelines for managing the different dimensions of the early childhood classroom. Unit 4.6, analyze the common causes of early childhood disciplinary problems, the features of positive behavior management. 4.7, examine the features and application of acceptable discipline techniques in the classroom. 4.8, analyze how to handle learners' behaviors with tantrums, bad language, bullying, name-calling, hyperactivity, ADHD, and interruptions in the class. So those are basically the topics that you need to cater for during your exam session. Unit 5, the title of Unit 5 is Explain the Aspects of Early Childhood Learning Assessment. 5.1, distinguish between concept of assessment and evaluation in education. What is the meaning of those two? Clarify the aims of assessment in the early childhood phase. What are the phases of assessment in early childhood? Why do we assess? 5.3, explain the use of standardized tests as an assessment strategy in the early years of learning. 5.4, explain the use of development screening as an assessment strategy in the early years. 5.5, explain the use of observation as an assessment strategy in the early years by formal and informal assessment. There you should know what is used for formal and informal assessment. 5.6, uses of observation and strategies. 5.7, explain the use of documentation of children's work as an assessment strategy. What is being documented when we are assessing learners in early childhood? What strategies are being used there? 5.8, revisit the assessment checklist for all school readiness areas, where it can be improved and how often we can use these strategies. Unit 6, clarify the concepts about early childhood teaching and the curriculum in the NEED manual. 6.1, know the components of holistic child development by referring to physical development, gross motor development, fine muscle control, body image and spatial awareness, cognitive development, perception, conception skills, motivation, as well as the language development of the learners, socio-emotional development, emotional development, and social development of the learners. Know the features of early childhood teaching methods and approaches. What methods can we use to teach an early childhood learner in our classes? Explore the roles of parents and community members in the life of the early childhood learner. What roles does the parents play and the community play in the life of the early childhood learner? What are their rules? What does the parents need to do in order for their children to grow in their classes and to learn what they have to know? Discuss the important features and equipment of an outdoor and indoor play areas. Those two are very important. In the indoor and outdoor play areas, what equipment should be there and what shouldn't be there? Is it important for learners to have an indoor and outdoor play areas at early childhood teaching centers? So you should know all those things. Know why teachers should have a scheme of work. Or is it a must, or don't we need a scheme of work also as an early childhood teacher? Or is this just a thing that senior primary and junior primary teachers should have, and early childhood teachers doesn't need to have a scheme of work? Why is it important to have a scheme of work? In conclusion, you know how to know what is expected from you, as education is the greatest equalizer, as the logo of IOL states. Uphold yourself and study and read to gain more knowledge and values to get excellent results. Do not be limited to the information in your study guide only. Read widely to gain more knowledge. Go on Google and learn more about it. Study guides should not be the only source of your studying. Consult other sources also. Make sure you know what venue your exams will be in and what time it starts. Consult the IOL officers for those details, the venue, the time, and the date, and not only the subject tutor. Should you need any help from me, you are more than welcome to contact me on the number 081-496-4436. Or you can send an email to me, zmharais@yahoo.com, so that I can help you in well-constructed way, not to give you the answers, but to guide you what you need to know. So I wish you all the best with your examination. Good luck.